Hello everybody, and welcome to today's video on how to create your own virtual machine. So the reason why we are doing this video, or why I'm doing this video, is to show you the different pros and cons of a virtual machine and how to configure your own one. The pros obviously being that it's easy to test. It allows you to test different types of operating system. It allows you to do things such as penetration tests and all of that, and allows you to mess around on specific operating system things without having to actually affect your own operating system. So the first thing we're going to go do is we are going to install ourselves an image file of a specific operating system. In our case, we will be making use of Kail Linux. So you can go ahead to this site right here. I will leave a link in the description and you can download this. You can follow this tutorial and also install any other operating system you would like. The next thing we're going to go ahead and do is install a free version of VMware Workstation 17 player for Windows or for Linux. After you have now downloaded your image file of your specific operating system you would like to create your virtual machine of, we will now open up VMware for the first time and we will click Create a new virtual machine. A new virtual machine wizard will pop up and it will ask you to select where you are installing your operating system from. In our case, we will install it from a disk image. So go ahead and click Browse and select the specific operating system. Like I said, in our case, we're doing Kail Linux, but you can also do it for any other operating system you would like. Go ahead and click Next. And Kail Linux isn't being picked up as an operating system right here, so you can just go ahead and click Linux 5.x kernel and 64 or 32-bit depending on what you have installed, or if you have installing a different type, you can obviously go ahead and look for your version of the operating system. Once again, go ahead and click Next, choose where the location of the virtual machine is, choose your max disk size. Let's go ahead and put this to 10. And let's go ahead and customize our hardware now. So this gives you the default layout right here. You have a 10 gig hard drive, it's split. You have 768 megabytes of RAM, and you have a network adapter, and you have 2 cores, CD, DVD, USB controller. You can go ahead and customize this, and I'm going to go ahead and give myself 4 gigs of RAM and 4 processors. You can choose this however you would like to. You can configure this however you would like to. You can also add certain things if you would like. But for now, that is the configurations we will be going with. Go ahead and click Finish. And your new virtual machine has now been created. So it'll tell you that its state is powered off. It'll tell you the OS. It'll tell you the workstation version. And it'll tell you the RAM. So let's go ahead and play our virtual machine for the first time. Once your virtual machine has now booted for the first time, your operating system or Kali Linux would give you the prompt to now install it. So let's go ahead and make use of the graphical install. So one of the disadvantages which we did mention was the fact that your virtual machine might have certain hardware limitations. So it's important to note this, what exactly you are required to do with your virtual machine when you are configuring it. If you're looking for something a bit more resource demanding, you might have to look at some paid services. However, if you're looking at Kali or any type of operating system like that you would like to do maybe some small tasks, for instance, Kali Linux, you would like to do some network attacks and test your network that you're perhaps building at home or something like that, then a normal VMware plain simple free workstation virtual machine would be sufficient. So let's go ahead and select our language, select the country that we are in, and choose our specific keyboard. Now Kail will go ahead and detect and install all the necessary files. After some files have now been installed, it'll ask you to configure the network. So it'll ask you for a host name for this specific system. This is the name which you will see when you discover this system on your network. So just go ahead and give it any name. It'll ask for a domain name. In this specific case, it's not important. And now the network configuration will start. Now it'll ask you for the full name of the new user. So you would put whatever your name is or whatever specific name you would like to give this specific account on Kali Linux or whatever. Give the name, and now by Kali Linux will always ask you for passwords to set up a password, but not any operating system. Some operating systems don't require you to do that. So now it's going to go ahead and continue configuring. If you would like your specific operating system virtual machine to have access to the outside world, you will need to insert your proxy information. Otherwise, you can just leave this section blank and you can go ahead and click continue. Now it is busy installing the base system and configuring the package manager. So everything that's been configured so far has been your base system, your network drive partitioning, and your actual network configuration and settings. You will now get an option of software selection. So these softwares you can choose to install on Kali, for instance. It'll be desktop environment and a collection of tools. So these are just some small things which it'll be installing on your specific operating system. Not all operating systems come with this. Not all operating systems will have these exact steps. However, the steps will be very similar. So it'll now go ahead and install all of the softwares. After your installation has been completed, it will now prompt you to reboot your system. From this point onwards, this will just be Kali Linux specific. So if you have completed installing your operating system, you may now exit the video. If you have also been installing Kali Linux, I will now just demonstrate to you how the operating system looks. Kail is now loading, and Kail is a command line interface operating system. Unlike other operating systems where you will have a user interface, a normal graphical user interface, this one we will be doing with a command line. So we're just waiting for it to load, and then it should shortly prompt us to enter our name, which we have created, and our password. And we will now be able to log in to our system. And you can see we can run some simple commands, pwd being where exactly we are. We can go back to root and ls to list all of our files. We can change directory into home. We're already in home, so let's go to dev. Is all the files right there. And that right there is how you configure your very own Kali Linux operating system and virtual machine. Thank you for